Today on the Recipe Rebel, we are kicking off a new month of 6 ingredient recipes, and this month is all about summer favorites. The recipe we are starting with today is a No Bake Raspberry Cheesecake. It is incredibly easy, incredibly fluffy, and you can swap out any fresh or frozen fruit. That's the best part. We're gonna start by grabbing a 9-inch springform pan, and we are going to line it with some parchment to make it really easy to lift that cheesecake out when it's all set. So this is how it's going to look when it's all said and done. Next, we are going to stir together our crust, which is just graham crackers and melted butter. Now we're just going to set our crust aside, and we are going to process or puree our raspberries until they're nice and smooth. And then we will strain out the seeds because nobody likes those little bits in their cheesecake. So now we are going to take our raspberry puree that we have strained, and we are going to make a quick sauce to beat into our cheesecake to give it that nice raspberry flavor without watering it down. We are going to whisk in some sugar and some cornstarch. Now we are going to add this to our pan and cook it over medium heat until it is nice and thick. We are going to just set this aside to cool slightly while we beat our cream cheese. Next, we're gonna add our sugar and beat it until it's nice and fluffy. So now I'm just going to measure out about 1 cup of my thick raspberry sauce to add to my cheesecake. It will be almost all of the sauce. It's gonna leave us just a few tablespoons to swirl on the top. So the last thing we're gonna do is just pour this raspberry sauce into our cream cheese, beat it up until it is combined and smooth, pour it into our graham cracker crust, and then I'll show you how we're gonna do the top. So now I'm gonna take just the few tablespoons of thick raspberry sauce that we left in our pan. I'm gonna add them in little drops on top of the cheesecake and just swirl it around a bit. This is the hardest part of all, and we need to let it chill a good long time. I usually say at least 6 to 8 hours, but really overnight is best if you can. You really don't want a sloppy cheesecake. So into the fridge it goes, and we will test our patience.